All right, traders, Sunday watch list. So it is August 22nd here. And last week we did get a little bit of a spike in volatility, but it was short-lived, and this tends to be the case. Short-lived spike in volatility, and the key here is that if VIX quickly dies back down, like we did this week, usually the market kind of gets back on its own 2 feet. And as long as VIX stays down, market tends to continue on its merry way here. So in terms of the structure, daily squeeze here for the S&P 500, which to me looks awesome. You got a squeeze here for the Qs, a really nice squeeze. So I love how the markets look here. And until the S&P 500 and the QQQ until the structure changes, I want to keep getting long. I want to keep getting long some of the better setups the market has to offer. So I do know there is, call it concern, right now the market is gearing up for some massive pullback, and you get that in August, you get the seasonality. So, I hear that argument, I get it, but I'm also looking at a bullish daily squeeze. So my mindset is you just keep playing the path of least resistance, which has been to the upside, I think continues to be to the upside. And if you're just taking proper position sizes, the day the market does start to reverse shouldn't be the end of the world. So I would say, rather than being fearful of being long and the market rolls over, what I would be more fearful of is assuming the market is going to roll over soon and you continue to miss some easy trades. So until the picture changes here, we're in an uptrend. It's a bullish market. The Qs have a daily squeeze. The S&P 500 has a daily squeeze. So long as that's a picture getting painted, I'm looking to get long here. So in the mastery, we have got put credit spreads here in NOW. So you got trend, you got structure, you got momentum with the green 10x bars here. And y'all know my favorite trades. Uptrends, daily squeezes, and then a bunch of squeezes on lower time frames. So we want to focus on things like that right now. As long as the market continues the uptrend, these are the kinds of setups you want to focus on. So though NOW I think is a little bit too extended for a new entry here, that's the gist of what I'm trying to keep the focus on. So we got a position in NOW. Tractor Supply Company had a great daily squeeze here. So we took our entry, we took profits last week. We have got some in-the-money calls here on the industrials. So the industrials, stocks like 3M, UMP, Honeywell, beautiful weekly squeeze here in the industrials. So we're going to hold some calls on that. See if that weekly squeeze can't fire along into September, October. And then we got some calls here on XLC, which is the communication sector. We'll talk more about that in a second because XLC is basically Facebook, Google, Comcast. 3 great looking stocks right now. And then we have got put credit spreads here in IYR, the real estate sector. Trend, structure, and momentum. So, is that all we've got? No, how could I forget? Tesla, one of my favorite setups in the market right now. Brand new daily squeeze. Great looking 3-day. And a good looking weekly here. So as long as the weekly squeeze has that bullish structure, I'm comfortable holding positions through the chop fest because my goal here is, if and when the day comes that the weekly squeeze fires, I'd rather already be long in making money versus trying to chase it as it releases all that energy. So that's what we're rocking with there for open positions. And I do like Tesla still. So keep an eye on Tesla, I would say. But in terms of good-looking setups here, I like the mix of a good-looking sector and then good-looking stocks within that sector. So that's a focus here heading into next week. And I think we got to start here with the Qs. You got to start with the Qstas. Great squeeze here. So one of my favorite setups right now is Apple. You got that triple threat, right? The big 3. Trend, structure with a bullish squeeze, and momentum with a bunch of green 10x bars, a positive histogram. I love the daily squeeze here. So it's a pretty simple thought process, nothing too profound, but if the QQQ can fire its own daily squeeze to the upside, old Applebee's here should follow suit. So love the daily squeeze. We do have a 4-hour. So you got a daily, you got a 4-hour. You do have a 2-hour squeeze. You got a 1-hour squeeze. What else we got? And you got a 30-minute. So beautiful daily uptrend and a bunch of squeezes here inside of the daily squeeze. So I love Apple here if the Qs go higher. Google. I hope we get a dip tomorrow morning. So hope isn't a strategy. But part of my strategy is taking entries as close to the 21 EMA as possible. So not that Google is extended here. It's just give me a dip. That's all I'm saying. Give me a bit of a dip here. But you got trend, you got structure, you got momentum. Green 10x bars everywhere. Let's do a squeeze check. Oh my goodness, look at that 4 hour. I'm getting warm and fuzzy. 4 hour squeeze, 2 hour squeeze, 1 hour squeeze. All good looking stuff. So same thing as Apple. If technology goes higher, QQQ, Google should be well on its way here. So I would definitely take Google on a dip. Let's check out Amazon real quick. Yeah, not much I'm going to do there in Amazon. Let's check out Microsoft. That's what I'm looking for. What a move. That's what I'm looking for out of Apple and Google. You have trend, structure, momentum. You tend to get a pretty nice pop. So a little bit too extended there. And last but not least is Facebook. Great daily squeeze. So Facebook and Google here, I like the structure. I like them because obviously they're tech stocks. So they're both pretty decently heavily weighted in the QQQ. But I also like Facebook and Google here because they're the two biggest holdings in XLC, the communication sector. So like I said earlier, my favorite trades take place when the sector is in an uptrend, the sector is squeezing, and then 2 or 3 of the biggest names in that group are squeezing right along with it. So if you're in my mastery, that was our trade here on Goldman. Goldman had a beautiful daily, weekly, 3-day squeezing everywhere. But so was XLF, the financials. So you look for that beautiful setup in the individual stock. The probabilities of catching that move are even higher if the whole group looks good. So with XLC here, I love the structure. So if I like the structure of XLC, if I like the structure of the Qs, kind of by default, I like me some Google and Facebook. So as far as tech goes, I do like that group right there. And looking at the watch list here, let's go through a few more. So Google, Facebook, Apple, that pretty much covers technology slash communications. So I like those 3 right there. And if you check out the semiconductors, now this isn't the prettiest daily chart, but here's what has me interested. The weekly. One of my favorite places to get long is something that's in an uptrend. In the semiconductor sectors, definitely an uptrend here. One of my favorite places to get long is the weekly pullback to the 21. So there's your pullback, you consolidate, nice push higher. You pull back to the 21, chop fest, nice push higher, pull back to the 21, nice push, and here we are again. So you got a weekly squeeze, got an uptrend, got stacked EMAs, you got a bullish histogram, and you're pulling back to the 21 EMA here. So you give this a few days, you see if it finds support, but ultimately you start pushing the, turning that corner, making that next leg to the upside off of that 21. You're looking for opportunity in the semiconductors. So good trend there, good pullback. And in terms of what I like in the semis, look at this bad boy, NVIDIA. Would you look at this bad boy? Trend, structure, momentum, a little bit too extended for me. So if we can get a pullback early this week on NVIDIA, I am certainly looking to take a position. You even got a 4-hour squeeze. So probably one of my favorite charts right now. Not just because the semis have pulled back to a key level of support. Everything just looks really bullish here. So I will take NVIDIA on a pullback. Based on the look at this chart, though, I don't know. I don't know, Junior. Might not get that pullback. So I would certainly take it here, but check out AMD. Trend, structure, with a nice pullback to the 21, and momentum. Stacked EMAs, green 10x bars. So no daily squeeze here yet, but you crack it down to a 4-hour, and there's your 4-hour squeeze. So SMH is pulling back to the 21. Let's just say we find support at the 21 on that weekly chart, and then ultimately it turns a corner and makes another push to the upside. This is what you're looking for. One of the leading stocks in the group pulling back to the 21, you look for those squeezes, that's where you want to get long. So I definitely like AMD here. And that really is about it. Real quick here. O'Reilly, if I can spell, trend, structure, momentum. So that looks really good if you ask me. Etsy is a pretty good looking daily squeeze here. Comcast, which is in, again, communications. Comcast looking damn good. Daily, a 3-day, and a weekly squeeze. And it's in XLC, so it's part of the right gang. So Comcast looks really good here. What else we got? DoorDash, pretty solid daily squeeze. NET is a pretty solid daily squeeze here. And Chipotle. Chipotle looks really good. There's your trend. Here's your structure with a brand new squeeze. And there's your stacked DMAs. So I would take some Chipotle on a pullback as well. But main things to focus on here, and that looks good. So Chipotle, O'Reilly, DoorDash, NET, names like NOW, I'm all for it. As long as they got the big three. They got trend, they got structure, they got momentum. It's a pitch I'm willing to swing at. So I'm looking for those opportunities, but mainly here, got a squeeze in the QQQ. So I like Apple, Facebook, and Google. You got a daily squeeze here in XLC, so I like, again, Facebook and Google. And then the semiconductors, pulling on back to key support in a really solid weekly trend here. If this turns a corner and starts pumping back towards those highs over the next few weeks, I like NVIDIA. Again, I got to get a dip. Got to get some chips with this dip. Look at that. What a beauty. I would take NVIDIA on a pullback, and I also like AMD setting on up here at the 21. So there you have it. There's our weekly watch list, and I think just keep it simple. Right? Everyone's fearful of the pullback. Everyone's fearful of the market top and the seasonality. And listen, the market's going to pull back whenever the heck it wants to pull back. Focus on what's right in front of you. When you think of that daily chart of the S&P 500 we just looked at, you think of the daily chart of the Qs, at least in my book, it's all bullish. So until that changes, to me, the path of least resistance is to the upside. So I wish you all the best of luck this week. For those of you in the Simpler Options room, I'm on vacation this week, and on vacation I mean sitting at home. So if you're in the Mastery, we'll still be live on Thursday. So in the Compounding Growth Mastery, I'm going live every Thursday morning, training live with the team there. So I won't be in the options room this week, but we will do our Thursday session in the Mastery. So link in the description if you want to check us out. And then I will see you on Monday and Wednesday for the pre-market prep. So call it a vacation, but I'll be here. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.